let me dovetail on what I was saying before. You want something in your life to fight for. I don't know what that thing is, because everybody's thing is different. But you want something to fight for. Something that if somebody was trying to take it away from you, you'd fight them for it. That's what you want. That kind of thing in life will make you take action. Like I'm 37 years old. I don't want to fight anyone, but I'll fight you for certain stuff. Like you'll have to freaking physically move me. And that's the kind of feeling you want towards stuff. And that's the kind of thing I feel towards Cardano, towards Nerd. It's like you have to fucking fight me for it. You want to take it from me? You're going to have to fight me for it. And I can count on one hand the things in my life I was willing to fight for. Like where it's like, you're going to have to take it from me. One hand. Maybe 3 fingers, I don't know. But that's the kind of thing that drives people. Things you're willing to fight for. Things you're willing to lose for. Things you're willing to say, come and kick my ass. See if you can take it. That's what you want to drive for in life. Okay? You think of like 2 pit bulls who've latched onto a piece of meat and they're fighting for that because they know, I need that. I need that. You think you need it? You better prove to me you need it more than me, because you're going to have to come through me to get it. That makes a life worth living. Something to fight for. And wise man once said, when you fight, you lose. But you know what? Sometimes you win too. And sometimes those wins, they make up for all the losses. That's something I've learned about having something to fight for. Is that sometimes the wins make up for all the losses. How come it is why is it when people ask you, hey, how you doing? You go, all right. Doesn't matter if it's the worst day of your life. Hey, how you doing? Great. Cat just died. Dog ran onto the railroad tracks. I'm great. Why do people say that? Why do people say, I'm doing great? Good. Yep. Triple homicide. Perfect. Oh, the funny little formalities of human life. Great. You know, I think people say they're great, they're good, doing fine, just to kind of avoid the little, trying to get some light on this shot, this beautiful mug, just to avoid the awkwardness of someone saying, hey, how you doing? Bad, man. What do you want me to do for you? I guess people really don't care how you're doing. Only your real friends care how you're doing. And in reality, you only get about a handful of real friends in your whole life. You know, you get a lot of acquaintances. You get a lot of acquaintances. You know, my life, well, I haven't always valued my time, and that was probably one of the biggest mistakes in my life. Growing up, I feel like I always had everything I always wanted, and I would always have everything I've always wanted, but that really wasn't the case, for 2 reasons. One, I didn't know what I would want, and 2, I didn't have everything I always wanted, and everything I always wanted wasn't paid for, financially speaking. So, you know, I in my late 20s dealt with stress, anxiety, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And anxiety, which is like the new age buzzword, I think in the 50s they probably just called it stress, and men just drank themselves silly. But anxiety is the new buzzword for the decade. And anxiety is like a constant reminder of your own mortality, your own death, that we are not here forever. And your time is limited. I'd say anxiety is something that I wouldn't really wish upon anybody, honestly. Just a heightened level of stress. And I'm like a relaxed person. It's a double-edged sword. You know, I'm a pretty relaxed, easygoing person in my daily life. But like the anxiety, which can be mental and it can also be physical, can be taxing. And to be constantly reminded of your own mortality, it's made me take action lately. It's made me take action. It's made me do stuff. It's like time to sit and pontificate the world and, you know, stargaze and daydream. Those days are over. The time for action is now, because tomorrow is not a guarantee. Tomorrow is not promised. Now, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, when I say a lot of people, I feel like a lot of times I go through my life. I don't know what a lot of people do. A lot of people do a lot of different things. I feel like a lot of times I myself would waste time and not understand the value of my own youth, not understand what you have in front of you, kind of like that Baz Luhrmann song, not understand that you're never going to get this time back ever again. And what you do with this time, what action you take with this time, will affect majorly the rest of your life in every way, shape, or form. I think that's probably what I would tell myself if I could go back to the 25-year-old me. Have a sit down, have a real conversation. Spend your time wisely. So one day you'll be short on time. You might be short on luck too. Yeah. Everybody wants to lose 5 pounds. Everybody wants a big fat bank account. How do you do it? How do you do it with all the responsibilities that a real life adult has? How do we live our dreams? You know, I remember Jack Johnson used to have a song. He said, "Don't let your dreams be dreams." Much easier said than done. Much easier said than done. Because sometimes they just are dreams. And the young person, they want to make everything perfect. They want, at least I did as a young person, I wanted things to be perfect, and I regret that, because that perfectionism, that always reaching to the highest level, the highest standard, can be very paralyzing for someone in any career path. And at some point, you just have to say, screw it. Throw it out there, splatter paint, let the cookies crumble the way that they will, and let's get on to the next one. That's why I'm enjoying this YouTube experience, because to me, it's just like, hey man, this is my journal. This is my diary, dear diary, you know? And it's like, shit, if I kick the bucket tomorrow, which, I don't want to. This is a treacherous turn up here. I have to be careful. Got my seatbelt on. I want to at least have painted something on the walls of time. I mean, I don't know if YouTube will be around forever, but at least, you know, people could look at these videos and think hey, this guy was trying to do something. This guy was trying Not like, hey, I'm trying to do, like, I'm doing something. I don't know what it is, but I'm taking action. And you know what? I'm getting results out of it. And that's okay. And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I can look back on my life and say, you know what? Like, I did what I could with what I had when I had it. And the chips fall where they will. Everything's not going to be perfect. And if you're waiting for things to be perfect, you're going to wait a long, long, long time. Because they're never going to be perfect. And then you'll get older and more responsibilities will build themselves up, and your dreams and your goals and your ambitions, they'll get put on the back burner further and further in the closet that you never open. And you'll say to yourself, why didn't I do that when I had the opportunity to? You know, they say the key to success is massive amounts of action, but taking action is not necessarily easy. I think the key to taking action is, one, being aware of your own mortality and saying, I may be freaking dead tomorrow, okay? You know, they always say live every day like it's your last, but like, we also have to plan for the future. Like James Dean said, live as though you'll die today, dream as if you'll live forever. It's more like live as though you'll die today, plan as if you'll live forever. You know, dream as if you'll live forever. That sure as hell sounds a lot more poetic. I'll give him that, Mr. James Dean, Mr. Hollywood. But when those things don't manifest, you say, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I capture it? I had it all right there in front of me. Like, you ever look at old pictures of yourself and you think to yourself, wow, I was quite critical of myself back then. I kind of thought lowly of myself when I had everything in front of me. I was intelligent, I was good looking, I had good people around me. And for whatever reason, I guess maybe that's a self-esteem thing. And I guess the older you get, and perhaps your self-esteem grows, and it strengthens that stress, that self-esteem becomes your core confidence. And I guess to have that when you're younger, I think it's a challenge for a lot of people. You know, I think you have to kind of, you do kind of have to pretend. People see through that, even when you're young, but you got to do it anyway. Sometimes in life, you got to do things that aren't comfortable. That's the reality of this life. Sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do. Sometimes you got to put on your big boy pants, buck up, stiffen up that upper lip, and be a man. Well, internet, if I don't see you, I'll see you on the internet.